Hi, my name is Shamonica. I am the Director of Clinical Services for our Dallas office. I work alongside Karen, who runs our Grapevine office. My reason is a little more personal. I've been a nurse for a really long time, and I've had some experiences inpatient with hospice, but about 8 years ago, it became very personal for me. And my family members, we decided on hospice for my uncle. It was not a good experience, and so I wanted to be a difference. I wanted to make a difference. I shied away from it at that time, and then it came back around, an opportunity came back around. I shied away from it 3 times. And so the third time, I felt like it was a calling for me to be able to make a difference in the community. I will share my story a little bit about my uncle and my mom. My uncle was actually my first hospice patient, and I was not a hospice nurse then, I was a neuro nurse. We prepared him for discharge in the hospital, was told that he would have everything that he needed once he got home. It was all set up from the hospital, and he was in a lot of pain, and so the hospital had done a really good job of managing his pain. When we got home, there was a different story. Nothing was there. He didn't have any pain meds. He was in pain for hours, and he would scream. My family, my mom, my aunts and uncles, they didn't know what to do. And so I had to come over, and basically I took control and got on the phone with the hospice. And it was not an easy conversation to have because they were not in any rush to get us what we needed. And they felt like it would be there, when it got there. And we didn't have a nurse that came out. And I kind of felt like it was something that should not have happened in that way, because I felt bad for myself. Like, as a nurse, I should have done better by my family, and I thought I did that when we were in the hospital. And so I took that piece of it and was like, I want to be able to make a difference and not have this happen to somebody else. I did such a good job with it that the company actually offered me a position. A couple years later, my mom was on hospice, but she was in inpatient hospice. And so this was my second personal experience with hospice. The staff in the hospital was excellent. They were great. I was still considered myself, or my family still considered me to be her hospice nurse, even though she was in the hospital. And the hospital allowed me to be able to take control of my mom's care, even though we stayed in the hospital. But my mom had a fear of the word hospice, and it took me a long time to realize that I had never had that conversation, with her. And so I wanted to be able to, after experiencing that with my mom, I wanted to be able to change that perspective of people in the community. I was able to give my mom a good quality of life, at the end, and she was comfortable and resting, and she was surrounded by family. And ultimately that's what she, wanted. And so I was thankful that I had the opportunity to do that for her. For me, it's always, what can we do better, and how can we make a difference in not just in the patient, but in the family's lives? Because when the patient's gone, the family will still have that experience with us. And so that's the part that we want to be able to have a big impact on. And so I look at it as, what did I need? What did my family need? And I try to incorporate that into what we give our community. I'm blessed and lucky enough to where I have a really good team. And so they basically care for our patients as if they were family anyway. And so it's not something that we have to try hard. It just really comes second nature. I basically focus on making sure that the team has the resources and the tools that they need so that they can provide great quality care.